Hey guys, this is AwesomeJohn22 coming to you today with a Tuesday review, and as promised we are taking a look at another animated figure after Sentinel last Sunday, and this time we are taking a look at a figure that I have absolutely no doubts about. This is one of my favorite figures ever. I will get to that in a minute, but let's go ahead and get into the review proper so that I can tell you those things by getting this guy transformed up through the magic of jump cuts. And here we have Jazz transformed up into his vehicle mode, and it's very cool. I just did a Sentinel Prime review where I used this guy as the size comparison, so I'm not going to worry about that in this mode at least. But you can see he's a nice compact little sports car. Very spot on the model from the series. It's very nice. I like it a lot. Got the Elite Guard symbol right there on the front as kind of a bit of ornamentation. Just very cool looking figure. And I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but this is the first Transformers animated figure that I ever picked up. I was not sold on the show or the toy line at the time, and I happened to find this guy very, very discounted, resold at a Goodwill, I believe it was. I guess someone's kid didn't want it even while animated was still going on, so they had donated it. I managed to pick it up for practically nothing. How well he rolls. Just a great, great little design. This figure is the one that sold me on the toy line. And the toy line inspired me to give the show a chance. So in a way, it is this figure that is responsible for my love of Transformers Animated. And because of that, it's actually probably one of my favorite figures out of everything in my collection. I just absolutely adore it. And maybe it's not a good enough figure to warrant that on its own, but I would actually argue that it is, because it's a very nice little figure. You can see he does resemble the original Jazz quite a bit with the striping and the basic design. He is quite an homage, just like a lot of the Transformers animated figures were. And transformation is pretty similar too. I'm going to go ahead and show it off. We're going to raise up this back end first, just to kind of get it out of the way. And then we're going to come here, where we can see his visible head syndrome a little bit. And we're going to just kind of shake, kind of wiggle these bits loose on both sides. And it's not difficult, it's just you don't want to break anything, you want to be gentle. Straighten out his hands, just for the heck of it. Lower these down. These are going to be his arms, clearly. And then take these panels and rotate them around so that these exhausts are now pointing towards his hands. And that will happen on both sides. And you can then rotate these around again. I'll show it off again in the full robot mode, but I don't particularly like it, so I don't typically do it. Anyway, what we're going to do next is we're going to take this whole section here, I almost forgot what I was doing, lift it up, and it does just slide right up out of there. There's hardly any friction at all, which is nice. Straighten out these bits, which are going to be his legs, clearly. Take these, his feet, lower them down, and you can see these black bits actually do line up with the feet and with these sections here once you spread the legs, allowing him to stand rather easily, acting kind of like auxiliary heel spurs of a type. Next we're going to come up here, lift the camera up a little bit. We're going to move these out like so, and that will angle these wheels in. We're going to lower this section here like that, which will, as you'll see in a minute, oh, that popped out, fill in the chest like so. And we're just going to kind of straighten everything up, and like most animated figures, like I mentioned with Sentinel on Sunday, he's simple, he's simplistic, but he's simplistic in an interesting way, and it's a lot of fun because it's very, very reminiscent of the way, fiddling with him too much, I apologize. It's very reminiscent of the way the old G1 figures used to transform in a simplistic but interesting way. But it's all updated, and it's very modern looking, and he ends up being a very modern looking figure, and I like it a lot. He's very cool, great head sculpt that is absolutely dead on the appearance of the head sculpt, or the head, rather, of the character in the series. Great slim body, very athletic looking. He was a ninja character in the series, a lot like Prowl, so thankfully they did give him a wide range of articulation. I'm holding him up here, but you can get him in various poses. It's a little difficult because of the way the feet angle, but if you have the patience and the time, you can get him in some decent poses. Great articulation. I believe he has some, well, I guess it's an abdominal rotation more than a waist rotation, but you understand the point. Does move back and forth in and out of the hips. Far greater than 90-degree bend at the knee. He has double jointed elbows. He has ball jointed fists, which have a great range of articulation to them. Rotation up above the elbow, and a full range of motion in the shoulders. The only thing you don't have is forward and back, but you don't really need it that much because there's so much articulation in the arms already. Full rotation at the head, and a limited up and down ball joint, which is kind of unfortunate. I wish there was a little more articulation there, but it's not bad at all. It's actually quite good. You can get him, as I said before, in some really cool dynamic poses. Like, that's not anything too spectacular, but you understand the point. It's a nice figure. I don't know if I remember to mention the rotation. There's rotation in the legs, yay! And I guess there's technically foot articulation, but you saw the entirety of that during the transformation, so I'm not going to bother. For his weapons, I mentioned he is a ninja. He has these little, I'll show this off real quick before I forget. Take these, rotate them around, and they're supposed to be kind of like hanging off and being all cool. I don't like it. I think it makes his arms look bare and flat. He does have these, they pop off. Let me show off one, because if I remove both of them, I'll probably end up losing one. Separates, and it's on this little string, and becomes a little nunchuck. Then you can just, actually let's use this one, you can take it and just kind of slide it up into his hand. And now he has little nunchucks, and how I typically like to pose him is with the nunchuck sitting up on his arm, looking like he's kind of holding it in a ready position, getting ready to go nunchucking and do kung fu movie fight stuff and kick people's butts. It kind of manages to be an action pose without actually being an action pose. It's one of those kind of, what do they call them, potential energy rather than kinetic. It's got potential action rather than kinetic action, which I'm sure makes absolutely no sense to anyone but me, but you understand the point. I am sure. He looks good. Very good looking figure. I really love it. Great detail all around. Just a good looking figure. I cannot express enough. If you find this figure, absolutely get it. One of my absolute favorites from the line, along with Optimus Prime here, who you can see is rightfully quite a bit taller than Jazz. They look good in scale, though. I mean, every time we saw Jazz next to Optimus was a bit bigger, so I think it works out. Now, Jazz probably would have been a bit taller than this. He probably would have been about up to here rather than here. But I'm just nitpicking at this point. They look good together. That's what matters. I think he looks better next to Optimus than Sentinel does next to Optimus. So there's that. Anyway, great figure. If you find it, I would pick it up. I like it that much. I'm not even going to say if you can find it for close to the original price, pick it up. I'm just going to say if you see it and you have the money to get it, get it. It's a good figure. It's worth having. But anyway, guys, that's going to be about it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it, because I certainly enjoyed making it. Either way, please help me out, like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below if you feel so inclined. In the description down below, you'll find links to all the other things I'm working on, including the blog post, where I have all of the figures up for review listed. If you see anything in it that you would like me to review, let me know and I will see what I can do. This has been Awesome John 22, and I'll talk to you guys later.